For a holistic practitioner, this is sort of the presentation manual that you're going to use to go over a very summarized version of a presentation with a client that you can do in just a few minutes. You can shorten it however you want. You can kind of lengthen it a little more. There's going to be a lot of information in a very condensed short package here. This video will help you explain and understand what you're looking at. So the first page of 4 is this one, and this is just a summary page with some good information. You can really use it as a flyer in your office, sitting on the table in the waiting room or something. So we'll go over this in just a second. Page 2 is kind of where the meat and potatoes of the presentation is, of the bulk of what you're going to explain to people. This third page here is just a retail pricing page, so you can give this to clients if you want to. They can take it home or what have you. You can advertise it, so forth. And then the last we're going to cover is the home remediation checklist. This is really important because if you want to go over more than just a couple of products, basic fixes for and with a client, then this is the one that's going to do up to like everything that they would need. And this is a really complete way to do it, and we'll get to that in just a second. So let's start in the beginning. From these normal household sources, smart meters, cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, it causes a person's blood to look like this. Now this is an actual picture of someone's blood that was taken, let's see, this is standing 1 foot in front of a smart meter, which is the same as a router, for about 2 minutes, not about 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes. Their blood starts to stick together. You can see the white centers forming, which is called target cells. Red blood cells like this are really not supposed to be clumped up together like that. In the videos that you can watch, they don't move very much, and they tend to clump up. It's theorized that maybe they're clumping up to protect themselves because they're having to repair themselves from some sort of possible damage here, in this case EMFs. The next one was the same person standing 1 foot from a smart meter for 2 minutes with our home harmonizer product on the smart meter, and you can see, you know, they're spaced out round without the white centers, and this is what it's supposed to look like, I'm told. And that's clear, clean looking, better, healthy looking blood. Now it says avoid this above and other common bioeffects like fatigue, sleep issues, headaches, DNA damage, focus issues, immune system imbalances, and much more. Now, we'll say if you avoid all these, you don't have any of these symptoms and any others that you could think could be EMF related, which amazingly, a sore shoulder or so many other things could be EMF related. But if you don't think you have any symptoms, it doesn't matter. You're getting free radical damage, you're getting DNA damage, and this is happening to almost everybody's cells under a microscope unless they're using our products. And this is not the best study in the world, but it's a pretty cool one because you can see what happens to your blood under a microscope. Now, next page. Now, common EMF sources. Everybody pretty much knows where these are, but you have cell phones, cell towers, Wi-Fi, all the things that you can read here. But let me emphasize the low orbit 5G satellites. This is like the new phenomenon, adding a ton of radiation to everybody on 80% of the planet. Because almost anywhere you go except the North and South Pole, you're getting hit hard by this as of a couple of years ago. And they have thousands, a couple thousand or so. It's more than 2,000. They have a few thousand satellites up there now, of course, depending on when you listen to this video. But it's estimated and projected, and the goal is to have between 30 and 50,000 of these low-orbit 5G satellites spraying us from overhead. That's insane. This problem is going to grow quite a bit. Now, let's talk about the bioeffects caused by EMFs. We reviewed it at the top. This is just another list. Here it says DNA damage and cell damage. Everyone gets this. You can see it on human cells in an incubator, which we'll get to in a second. Now, there's over 4,000 studies on just this one website. There's over, I've heard 20,000 studies and papers proving that these EMFs from microwave and radio wave radiation from cell phones and all the stuff we talked about is harming people, okay, is causing DNA damage, is causing low melatonin production when you sleep, is causing all these problems. Now, to know more about the root cause of why and how these symptoms are coming about and how EMFs are damaging, you're really going to have to go to our website, watch some videos there. We have more information now. If you take our certified EMF practitioner training, then you'll get a really clear explanation and some diagrams and some things on that subject. But for here, we only have so much time, so we're going to skip over how EMFs are damaging us. But you can know that calcium channels are being affected. This causes the free radical damage and the DNA damage, nitric oxide problems in the cell, and this can snowball to all these other symptoms. Now, over 4,000 studies are on this website. I would add something here and say / at the end of this website, / conclusions. The reason I would put that because it takes you right to a summary of almost 2,000 studies on that one page. So I should probably update this at some point and put that website, bioinitiative.org / conclusions to get people right to it. Now, this is a non-biased place. They don't sell anything. They're not funded by anybody that has an agenda. This is about as neutral and unbiased as you can get. And there's so much information that people can just drop a jaw and go, okay, this is a real problem. Now, how do we know our products work to remediate EMFs? So if you read in the small print here, it says we've got blood tests, which we just showed you an example of. We've had many done on cell phones, under power lines, in front of smart meters, and so on. They're cool because you can see what happens to blood under a microscope. Mold tests. We've grown mold much faster when it's exposed to EMFs unless our products are around. Then the mold grows extremely slow. That's just interesting, and you can infer some things from that. Thermal imaging. When a cell phone is against somebody's head and it heats their head up, and lack thereof when we're using our products. Muscle testing is something that holistic practitioners, a lot of them use. You can definitely learn how to do that, test EMFs, and show that our products work better than anything else you'll find out there. But the biggest and best, and there's other studies we've done, but the biggest and best thing that's ever been done, in my opinion, in the entire world by a million miles, showing EMFs harm and them being fixed by products, is what we're looking at here. This EMF on human cell study. Now, the study's been half done, I say. The first part of the study's been done over 20 times. We've proven that when EMFs are exposed to human cells, that they have voltage-gated calcium channel problems. These little doors let in too much or not enough calcium, which snowballs into the free radicals, DNA damage, and all the stuff we talked about. Now, why is that important? Well, this study not only reproved that and showed when a Wi-Fi router was close to different human cells that were kept in an incubator, that reaction did happen and was measured on thousands of cells, okay, in multiple studies. But when our products were applied, the reaction stopped. The reaction to the EMFs was what we call normalized. So the calcium levels, if they dropped, went up to normal. If the calcium levels went too high, they went back down to normal. That's incredible. That's proof beyond anybody ever proving their stuff works, that our products are addressing the root cause and actually doing the fix on a cellular level. Holy cow, wow. This is the best evidence we have. In a short version, EMFs are causing cellular changes with calcium channels and calcium levels and the other things we discussed. EMF Solutions solved this in an independent lab study in 2021. And Dr. Vita, she's got a great summary you can read on our website, but this is just a quick version of what you can just quickly show people. Now, this again is just a product retail sheet, and we'll finish it up with this very important home EMF remediation checklist. So if you have somebody that's serious, and you might say, well, they really not only need it, but they can afford it and they want it. So they want to really fix the EMFs in their world. Remember, if you have a sick person and they're remediating all their EMFs all at once, there's a pretty good chance they're going to detox. See our detox protocol video and sheet on that. But for now, let's just look at this for a second. So first of all, this first question, let me make it bigger for anybody watching this video. So this first question, I live in a house or a home, okay? Check, put a 1 here for a home harmonizer box. If they own or rent a condo or apartment, you might go here. I'm going to tell you, don't ever do number 2. Okay, don't choose the condo route and room harmonizers unless you absolutely have to. If somebody can access their electric meter or their fuse box in their apartment or condo and just hang a heavy 4-inch cube right on the wall next to the metal that's around their fuse box, which you can look at installation instructions for that and find out how to do that, then you should always choose home harmonizer over room harmonizers. It takes so many room harmonizers to equal the power of one home harmonizer. It's always the best way to go. And when you're in an apartment, it's a lot of times much worse than a house because you have to fight your problems, and all of the neighbors that you're connected to could be underneath of you, above you, and next to you with routers and Bluetooth speakers and cell phones and who knows what they got. So always choose number 1 if you can, okay? If you have solar, very close to a cell tower, very close to power lines, put a 1 for here for a booster box. And here's the prices, $519, $269.95. You can see right underneath of each. Almost always put a 0 here. Now, having fans, you want how many device chips they need? Let's see how many fans they have in bedrooms. That counts any spinning electrical motor, such as a fan, air purifier, dehumidifier, humidifier, anything else that has a strong fan that you think needs to be remediated. Put a number in that box, and that's how many device chips they need. And then, of course, the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth devices in the house that are strong, that you're close to or in bedrooms, you want to take care of, such as Wi-Fi routers, almost always the single-handed worst thing in there. Gaming stations, baby monitors, all absolutely crucial to do. And on a gaming station, you want to not only get one on the gaming station itself, but the gaming station controllers, cordless phones. Now, you can probably get away with not doing, depending on their budget, I'm going to do it perfect. But you can get away with not doing a smart TV, a cable box, a Fire Stick, an Apple TV, if it's not in your bedroom, okay? Even like the smart TV is going to have a field that's negative, but when the home harmonizer is on, it'll squish that negative field down to just a few feet. So as long as you're watching TV from not 2 feet away, you're on a couch 6, 10 feet away, whatever, you're fine. In the bedroom, I always fix those things, okay? Now, for better Z's, they go under every crib or bed. Put a number there. See how many better Z's you need. Now let's go to cell phones. How many cell phones you have. Now, remember, iCell chips are for iPhone 12s and 13s. The regular cell chip is for all other phones at this point. Number of laptops or tablets. Check a number here for laptops. Now, adults and teens might want to have the personal card or an XL band. Now, I would not use a personal card personally. I use a personal card, but I do the XL and the regular combined, the combo. There is a discount. It's $89.95 here. That's the one I wouldn't choose a weaker one because EMFs have gotten way too bad. The strongest product we have, remember, is the XL band, which is down here, which is a better way to go, really. So this says XXL band. I apologize. That should say XXL card. We'll get that changed. So your form shouldn't say that in the future. Now, there's other things you could remediate depending on your budget. If you're working 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever, you're in an office, you don't want to fix the whole office because you can't afford to make everybody else's life that great. At least get a room harmonizer for your desk, your office. That's a great thing to have. It's also great for traveling, the room harmonizer, if you're going to travel to a hotel and things. Device chip for your computer there, possibly, and maybe even the Wi-Fi router in the office, because that would do a lot of good. And then, of course, any automobiles that would need it. So this is a great sheet to just use manually to work through and see what products someone might need. Note that we also have a self-assessment form on our website that you could use. You could pull it up on your phone, your tablet, whatever, and walk through the same thing with them. At the end, when it tallies all the products, then you can take a screenshot of that. That's a computer-generated way of going through something very similar to this. And that's the big summary of the very short presentation. So thank you guys for listening all the way through.